Hello everyone, welcome back again. My name is Jesse, and in this wonderful and exciting tutorial, we're trying to see how to parse RSS feed in Python, how to fetch data from several websites which are using RSS, right? So RSS stands for Rich Site Summary, which is a format of maybe XML format or an atom format that allows you to be able to receive information, specific forms of information from certain sites like maybe news website or web blogs, right? So let me show you an example of an RSS feed. So this is coming from Hacker News, and this is in the format of XML, right? So as you can see from here, it is RSS, right? And the format is XML, so it has been structured in such a way that you can fetch this data periodically. Very nice. So there are several ways you can get RSS feeds. You can use a Chrome extension, like you go to Chrome. In case you are working on Chrome, you can just use RSS feeder, right? RSS feed reader. So I've already installed it, which is here, and this is going to be fetching the data from feeder.co, right? That is a particular place. So if I go to Hacker News, if I click on this, it's going to fetch all the news on that website for me, which is the same thing here. So all the news that is coming from this XML, right? RSS feed is the one that I can get from here using the extension, right? So we'll be trying to see how to use Python to be able to get all of this information. So let's see how to do that. So I'll just go back to my Jupyter notebook, and then we'll be trying to see how to work with it. So let me show you another service. You can also use the feeder.com. So this is how the feeder.com is. You can search for a lot of feeds, and then you can just add them to it, and it's going to be fetching those feeds for you. But let's try with the Hacker News. So in case you don't have the package and you want to install it, you can just go with pip install FeedParser. So let's copy this one here, go back to your terminal, maybe my terminal, and then I can now install it here, right? So that's how to install it on your system. I'm using Python 3, so perfect. So I already installed it, so you move straight away to it. So let's check it out. So I'll go back to my terminal, and I'm going to load a package. I'm going to load our package. It's going to be importing FeedParser. So that is the package we'll be trying to use, and this is the URL that you're working, which is the same URL that you are getting from here. So I'll copy this URL, which is coming from Hacker News, which is the same thing that our RSS feed that we use the Chrome app is fetching for us, right? I'll go to my URL, paste in my RSS feed for the front page. Then in case I want to get this feeds from the XML, I'll just go with this option. So let's press F for feed, then FeedParser. But before we check it, let's check the various methods, as we always do, of this particular package. So this is going to be the methods and then an attribute. So using DRL my FeedParser. If I check it out, it's going to give us a lot of things, but the most important thing we can do is that we'll be using these ones. So using the parser, we have the parsers to parse multiple feeds, we have the parse to parse a single feed, and we have URL and the rest. We're using the parse to help us with our tags. You can also use Beautiful Soup to do that, but this FeedParser make it very easy for us. I'll go with my FeedParser package .parse. Now passing my URL. So this is going to go to this particular URL, this Hacker News, and then fetch it for us. So if I go back and I go with F, it's going to give me a lot of information, almost everything that we are getting from here, right? This XML. It's going to pass it in a very nice format. Right, it's going to pass it in a very nice format. So this is the same thing that you are getting from here, right? As you can see, almost the same thing here. But you have the title, the link, the description, and the rest. Perfect. So that is something very simple. Now let's move out from this place and then get the information one by one. So there are several items when it comes to working with the feed. So the most important ones is that you have your feed and then your entry, right? These are the most important one. So the feed is just the feed that you're getting. The entry is the news item in block. So let's see a simple example. So we need to get all the keys, of each feed, because this is coming like a format of a list and a format of a JSON, right? So in case I want to get all the individual items within them, I can just come back again and do it like this. That is the keys. And this is going to print all of them for us. So we have the bottle, which is having meaning. We have the entries. As I said, the entries is the news item. We have the feed itself. We have the headers. So you can just check the headers of that particular information. Updated, the time just updated, and an updated parser, right? And then the status and the rest. So in case I want to get the headers, apologies for that. So in case I want to get the headers, so in case I want to check for the headers, let's go with my F, right? Because this is like a dictionary, so you can treat it like a dictionary or using a dot notation. Headers. So it's going to print all the headers, right, for us. So these are all the information. So the server that this particular Hacker News feed is coming from is an Nginx server, right? And then the date, which is 21st, and then some basic information. I can also do another option like this, headers, right, using the bracket notation, and it's still going to work because it's receiving it like a dictionary. Very nice. So we can also check for the URL, the particular URL. You can also check for the status in case I want to check for the status. That means that the information was sent, so this is going to be the check for status. Bring it up so that you can see it well. So check for status. It's going to be my f.status, right? So there are a lot of things you can do with it, which is going to be 200. It's okay. That means that it was able to make a connection. Very nice. So now let's move on to the feed and the entry, which are the most important thing now. So in case I want to check for the feed, I can just come back again. It's going to be the feed, right? So it's going to be f.feed. It's going to give us a very elaborate stuff. Yeah, so Hacker News. Perfect. So that is going to be the feed. You can also work on these individual ones, right? You can just put them together, and then in case I want to get the time it was updated, and then the link where it is coming from, I can also do it like this. So in case I want to get updated time, right, f.feed. And since this is also another dictionary, I can just go straight back to this part. It's updated. Right, so that is another way you can also get it, right? Very simple, and it's going to print this particular details here. Very nice. Now let's move on to the entry, which is where we can actually use to fetch our data. So let me bring myself up. And let's stay here. Let me bring myself here. Okay, perfect. So for the entries are the news items, right, which contains what we want. So it's going to be my entries. So to get the entries, just go with f.entries. It is going to bring out all the entries, which is a lot, right? So these entries are the individual news you are getting from here. If I go back to the RSS feed that we have, let me come down. If I click on this particular one, that is from the Chrome extension. If I click on this particular news feed, so these entries, modern treasury, is these ones, right? To title, modern treasury, like these individual ones, these are the entries which you are getting from the app. So you are pulling it with the F entries. So in case I want to get the length of all the entries, I can just go straight away with this. So to get length of entries, so get number of entries per that particular pool, it's going to be length f.entries. Right, so this is going to give me, I think, 20. Very nice. So in case I want to fetch the individual titles, right, these ones, modern treasury, which is the same thing that we had here. If I go back to the Hacker News front page, you can see that these individual ones, in case I want to get these individual ones, then I'll just move on straight away and loop through them, right? Because there's a list with a dictionary. So it's going to be like this. Go back, and then let's check it out. So to get a title for each news entry, if I want to get a title for each news entry, it's going to be for, let's say, title in, or let's call it, you can just make it like this because it's like the length is 20, so you can make it like for T for entry in f.entries, right, print, let's say, entry dot title. So this is going to print all the title for that particular entry. So these are all the titles which it has fetched for us, which is the same thing that we're getting from here, right? Very cool and very nice. So with this particular package, you can build some very cool applications. So modern treasury, evidence, ask HN, Congress, these are the same thing you're getting here. Very nice. So you can actually pull all of these things and then get their details. I can also do the same thing, not just for the title, but in case I want to get the description or the link that that particular news is coming from, the author. So let's get the author. I want to know who authored this particular one. I can just come back again. This is going to be print. I don't know whether the audio is okay, so this is going to be the author. Then I'll just go straight away with entry.author. Can't spell author. The author spelling is wrong. It's supposed to be H, right? You need to print the author. So this one was authored by this particular one. So we can make it better like this. So title. You can even use F string if you go, in case you want to, right? But let's go with this simple one for now. So we have the title, then the author, right? Very, very cool and very nice. That is how to fetch the title in the author. In case you also want to get the summary and the description, you can also do the same thing. So to explore everything from it, you can just go with this f.entries 0, right? If I go with this, it's going to pick the first one. So there's a title, so you can get the title as we got here. You can get the title detail. You can get the language, you can get the summary, you can get this particular summary that you want. Very nice. You can even get the summary details, and then we can also get some other cool stuff here, right? The authors, right? The author, and then you can even get the comments. So this is just one of them. So I can also do the same thing here. So f.entry, right? In case I want to get the title, I can do something like this, and it's still going to work, right? Because it's like a list of a list. Perfect. I can also do the same thing for this, another alternative method. So this is going to be method 2. You can either look through them or just treat it like a list and then get that particular one. So method 2. I can also do the same thing for this one, which is going to be, because I want to get the summary, you can also do the same thing and get the summary of the entire stuff. Very cool and very nice. So that is something very cool. So you can actually convert the entire stuff you have done about getting the author, the title, the summary, and then the publishing date, or even the link, in case I want to get a link for that particular place. I can also do the same thing here and convert this entire stuff into a dictionary. Very simple. So let's convert this into a dictionary. So you have seen how to use FeedParser to be able to get information from an RSS feed, Hacker News, right? And the basic idea behind all that we did was that we just used this particular package called FeedParser. We use this wonderful, nice package called FeedParser. Then we passed in our URL. Then we saw that it's having some keys. So in case I want to fetch information from entries, I just go with the I pick the entry key. Then I can just treat it like a dictionary, right? And fetch all the basic information. So let's convert all the data that you're getting into a data frame. So how do you do that? So let's try that one out. So I'm going to see how to convert our RSS feed to a pandas data frame. So we'll be using pandas to help us with that. It's going to be import pandas as PD. So we can just do the same thing here. So we can just create a simple dictionary. So let's go data. Let me create, this is another method. Then I'm going to loop through them, right? I'm going to loop through what I have. So for entry, in my entries, my f.entries, f.entries, right? I'm going to do the same thing I did above. So now I can just create a simple data. So data, then I'm going to create a, going to set default, I'm going to create a default dictionary. So this is going to be a default dictionary. Then this dictionary is going to take the particular stuff. So it's going to take, let's say I want to get the author, right? Remember that we also had authors. Then I want to pass it as a list, right? It's going to loop through them and do the same thing. So I'll do the same thing for the rest. So data.set set default. Then I'll put on the next one. So in case I want to get a title, then I'll put all the titles together as one. Then I'll do the same thing for the summary and the rest. So let me copy the code to save us time. Right, perfect. Then I'm going to append the data, right, that I'm getting from the entries into the respective field. So I'll just take the first one, like say data, right? I'm picking that particular author dictionary or the author part as my key. Then I'm going to append the entry.author, right? Just as we have been doing here, right? That's the basic understanding. So I'll repeat the same thing for the rest. So this is how to do that. So I'm just going to append the individual respective fields into this particular one. So this is a long method. So this, I can call this one as method 1, right? It's a long method. I'm showing the long method, then I'll show you the simple method. So now I can just create my data frame, pass it into, if I go back to this one option here, this I've only fetched the respective field, not every field, right? You can see that if you take the author, it's going to put all the authors together. If you take the title, it's going to put all the titles together, right? And now I can convert this one into a very nice data frame. So let's go to my data frame, pd.data frame. I'll pass in my data. So this is a first method, and this is going to give us a very nice data frame of only 20 rows based on the entry. Very simple, right? See that this is very nice. Cool. But this is method 1. Let's try method 2. Method 2 is very simple. So this is going to be method 2. Just as our f.entries, this particular f.entries is in the format of a list with a dictionary, right? So if I check for the type of this, right, it's going to tell me that this is a list, right? So I can just convert the entire stuff straight away into a data frame. So this is going to be method 2. So in that case, it's going to be something like this. So my record data frame 2, then pd.data frame, and I pass in my f.entries. So this is going to bring all the fields, not only just some of them. So if I check it out, so now it's going to bring all the fields, right? Every part of them. So we have the title detail, the summary detail, publish, links, and then the rest, right? If I check the different columns, we have a lot of columns. So df2.columns, and it's going to give us all our results. So that is how to work with this powerful, nice package called FeedParser. You can also use Beautiful Soup to do the same thing, but this is a very simple approach. So thank you for watching this tutorial. So the basic idea, as I already stated, is that you just use a package, FeedParser. You import FeedParser from here, right? Then you just pass in your URL. Then you can just retrieve all the details respectively, right? Or you can also use a simple package like feeder. You can just go to feeder.com with this one and pick the particular RSS that you want. Then you can use this particular package to fetch it, right? Very nice RSS feeder. So if I go back to feeder and let's say Hacker News. If I add Hacker News to it, it's going to add it to it automatically, right? Or if I go to this hackernews.com, this particular RSS is going to give me this option. So this is how it's going to be in case I want to add it to it. Then I can just add to it straight away. I can modify it. I can fetch per particular time, right? I can also go back to this one, and if I click on, let's say, Africa, right, and I go to this particular URL, automatically the package is going to identify that this is an RSS feeder. Then it's going to pick it up, right? So this is not properly done, but it's going to pick it up, right? As you can see from here, it's giving us a notification, right? So these are the ones that we added. Very simple. I can also add another feeder to it. By clicking on it, it's going to give us the option of adding to it or going back to the feeder. So thank you for watching. See you in the next session. Stay blessed, and please don't forget to subscribe and check the link below for more. See you another time. Stay blessed. Bye.